7, 6, 5, God's alive. 4, 3, 2, 1, He's the King of everyone. God's the mighty, mighty Lord of all. Again, come on. 10, 9, 8, God is great. 7, 6, 5, God's alive. 4, 3, 2, 1, He's the King of everyone. God's the mighty, mighty Lord of all. Go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Blast off! 10, 9, 8, God is great. 7, 6, 5, God's alive. 4, 3, 2, 1, He's the King of everyone. God's the mighty, mighty Lord of all. Come on!
I thought pussycat. Oh, I did. Oh, Sylvester. I'm gonna give you 20 pie. Right. Yeah. Put them. They're obviously for the little children there to look at. Boys and girls, it is Discoverers at Home time. Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining with us wherever you are. Where are you? Are you? Some of you in your living rooms. Very good, excellent. Well, we are on season 7 and we're on our 2nd episode already with this theme, big questions. And we've got another question for you today, which hopefully we'll be able to answer and find out and get a bit of brain knowledge for us that will help us in our daily living for God, which is amazing. And we've got Kez time coming up, Simon Says time as well. We've also got, boys and girls, we've also got our first doorstep challenge of this season. A little bit different because it's you guys at home versus these guys here. Sarah and Kez, they're going to be doing a challenge each week, and it's up to you guys on your doorsteps to try and beat them. So we've got our first one this week. Who could it be? We'll find out a little bit later on. Well, let's get into this episode. Let's try and answer this question that we've got for today, sing some songs and have some fun. And I'll see you very shortly.
Attention.
I just found a note. It says, Saturday is topsy-turvy day. You need to do everything upside down. I don't know who wrote it, but I guess it means, I don't know, I'll do my glasses first. Upside down. How's that? And I'll do this one inside out. That will be good. Ready for topsy-turvy day. And what else? Oh, I guess I need to walk on my hands. I need to walk upside down. Oh, but my glasses will fall off if I do that. And I can't really keep balance.
What are you doing?
Well, Dad, I found this note. It says, Saturday's topsy-turvy day. You need to do everything upside down.
Let me see that. Well, who wrote this? I didn't write it. I don't think it was Mum.
I just found it. I thought that was it. Topsy-turvy day.
Oh, but anybody could have written this. I wouldn't do anything about this until you know who's written it.
Okay, I better go and find out who wrote it. See if it actually is topsy-turvy day. See you later, boys and girls. So, guys, today's verse is this. Are you ready? 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 16. It says, all scripture is God breathed, and it is useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness. So just like my note, I didn't know who had written it. So I didn't know if it was true or not because I had no clue who had written it. We know that the Bible is true because the Bible says it's God breathed. It says that God wrote the whole thing. This is his word to us. How amazing is that? And also in this verse, we find out that it's useful for teaching. It's useful for rebuking, which means kind of telling off. It's useful for correcting, to make sure that we're changing our bad ways and being set on a straight path, and training in righteousness. This is useful for knowing God better. How amazing is that? So we know that the Bible is true.
So, boys and girls, hello. And we are off to our first doorstep challenge of this last season, season 7. And we're just about to get to the first person's house. And oh, look, very nice church building just back there, nice new one. Looks like it's nearly finished. Might give you a clue to where we're going. But whoever's doorstep we're going to today, they are going to be taking on Sarah for their challenge. And we're just going to go around this way, and I'm sure it is just along here just a little bit. So we're going to have 7 challenges for the rest of the 7 weeks, and we will have a winner. Will it be the boys and the girls, or will it be Sarah and Kez? We'll have to find out, won't we? So I'm getting really close to this person's house, and I'm just going to go around here, and I think I can see the house where we need to stop outside, and there are some people coming. So here we are. I'm just pulling up now to this very nice house, and we'll go and knock on the door and see who is going to be answering and doing this challenge. I'll be right back. So here we are. We're coming up to this house, and oh, there's a Big Ben, and there is Leo. Hello, Leo. So we know who's going to be doing this challenge, and I'm going to explain what's going to happen, and then Leo is going to see if he can beat Sarah. Okay, boys and girls, we have Leo, and he is here, and he has got a box of ping pong balls strapped to him, and we look there, and the ping pong balls are in there. He has got to get those out of that box without using his hands, so there might be a little bit of jumping involved. So Leo, you will have 1 minute to get as many of those balls out of that box as possible, and you can jump and shake and do whatever you want. So are you ready for this challenge?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to have 1 minute on the timer, and I'll tell you when to go. So on your marks, get set, go. So there we are, there's lots of them coming out. How many's left?
Oh God, He always keeps His promises. He said the sons of Abraham would be more than the grains of sand, and so His family grew underneath the
shores of the Dead Sea, 3 Bedouin shepherds were tending their flocks when one of their goats strayed from the herd. Thinking it had wandered into a cave, one of them threw a stone to scare the animal out. The unexpected sound sparked their curiosity, and inside, the young shepherds uncovered clay jars that contained one of the greatest archaeological discoveries of the 20th century. The oldest biblical texts ever found. The first of the Dead Sea Scrolls. The scrolls were handwritten some 2,000 years ago on durable animal skin parchment, with a few written on papyrus. They were mostly composed in Hebrew from right to left, with sheets written in columns, then sewn together, creating a single scroll. For safekeeping, some of them would be wrapped in linen and encapsulated in tall jars. The scroll was eventually replaced by the Codex as the format for Christian manuscripts. They were made by folding sheets of papyrus and stitching them together. As time passed, codices began to grow larger and more complex. During the medieval period, books were reproduced by hand. Monks spent their days copying texts in Latin and Greek, while others illustrated the pages. It was a grueling process that required great skill and training. The books were very expensive. To illuminate the text, they used various pigments and gold leaf. And the pages could require the hides of hundreds of sheep or calves. But it was the introduction of the printing press that transitioned the Bible from the Middle Ages into the early modern world. This invention revolutionized book production, ultimately making the Bible available to the masses. Today, it is the best-selling book of all time. Inside its pages, you can find the stories of the creation of the world, Noah's Ark and the flood, Moses receiving the 10 Commandments, the construction of Solomon's temple, the birth of Jesus, his crucifixion and resurrection, the Holy Spirit coming to the apostles, and many more. Large portions of these biblical stories are represented in 400 of the oldest manuscripts studied so far. Although a few are complete, most are either incomplete or fragments. Today, the search for more manuscripts continues. What other treasures, like the Dead Sea Scrolls, are yet to be found?
Thank you, Kezia, for that. And in Simon Says Time a little bit as well, we've got a little bit of that verse to look at as well, and some others to try and answer that question. So really good question to answer and try and get hold of the truth about that, isn't there? And we've got our second part of our Eric Liddell story as well to watch, which would be really good. And then, Leo, you did very well. We're going to see Sarah's part and see if she beats your time. So stay tuned, boys and girls, because we're going to see who's going to get the first points on the board for this season. So I'll see you in a bit.
There was only one solution. He would have to run in another race instead, one that wasn't being run on a Sunday. So he signed up for the 400 metres race. But he had never tried it before, and he only had a short time to practice running over longer distances. His family were worried. 400 metres was a long stretch for someone who was used to running very fast over a short distance. But Eric went on practicing. He knew he could only do his best. When the teams arrived in Paris for the Olympics, the crowds came out to greet them. They hung flags from the houses and cheered loudly as the athletes' buses drove through the city. Eric felt overjoyed to be there, And he knew he was part of a brilliant team of runners who all hoped to come home with lots of medals. Silver and bronze would be good, but best of all would be gold. His friends on the team couldn't help being a little worried about Eric. After all, the 100 metres was his best race and he wasn't running in it. Could he possibly win a longer race? A lot of people thought it was impossible. The day of the 400 metres race arrived, and Eric went down to the starting blocks. He felt quite relaxed, but he didn't really think he could win the race. He thought maybe he could come third and get a bronze medal to take home. As he crouched down to put his feet in the blocks, he was concentrating hard. Just then, an American man rushed out of the crowd of spectators and slipped a piece of paper into Eric's hand. Eric just had time to read what was written on it. It was a line from the Bible, which read, "Those who honour me, I will honour." Meaning that God will look after those who put him first in their lives. Eric felt himself grow bold and confident as he read it. And when the starting pistol sounded, he gripped the piece of paper in his hand tightly. Then he ran. His family and friends held their breath as they saw his head fall back and his arms begin to swing wildly. This meant that Eric was running as fast as he was able. He was a blur of feet and arms as he ran on and on, flying past the other runners. Two of them actually stumbled and fell over in their effort to keep up with him. He hit the finishing post to the loud cheers of the crowd. He had won. As Eric Liddell, the gold medalist, stood on the podium, he still clutched his piece of paper. He remembered how he had kept true to his resolution never to run on a Sunday, and he thanked God for looking after him and for the surprise of his life, an Olympic gold medal for a race that everyone thought he couldn't win.
Noah built the most enormous boat that kept the birds and animals afloat. The Lord was good, the Lord was strong, and Noah lived his life for him. Moses led his people through the sea, taking them away from slavery. The Lord was good, the Lord was strong, and Moses lived his life for him. Oh, thank you, that all through history you were faithful. Thank you, oh, thank you, that you are just the same when it comes to me. When it comes to me. David fought Goliath and he won. A humble shepherd boy became a king. The Lord was good, the Lord was strong, and David lived his life for him. Daniel was inside a lion's den, but God brought him to safety once again. The Lord was good, the Lord was strong, and Daniel lived his life for him. Oh, thank you, that all through history get to know our God again. The Lord is good, the Lord is strong, and we will live our lives for Him. Oh, thank you, oh, thank you. All through history you were faithful. Thank you, oh, thank you. You are just the same when it comes to me. Thank you, oh, thank you. All through history you were faithful. Thank you, oh, thank you. You are just the same when it comes to me. When it comes to me. When it comes to me. When it comes to me.
Boys and girls, welcome back to Simon Says Time. It's been a while, hasn't it? But it's really good to be back with you. Now, we are going through some big questions, aren't we, in this latest series? And I've got a question about this book here. This is my Bible, lots and lots and lots of words in it. And so we have got this question: where did the Bible come from, and is it true? Now, this is Simon Says Time, but we're going to be looking at the Bible and seeing what the Bible says about trying to answer this question. So, come on, let's have a look and see if we can answer this. The Bible, it's no ordinary book, is it? For many, many reasons. Now, there's a guy in the Bible, and he's called Paul, and he wrote some letters, and he wrote a letter to Timothy. And in there, he wrote this. And it says, all scripture is breathed out by God and profitable for teaching, for reproof, for correction, and for training in righteousness, that the man of God may become complete, equipped for every good work. Now, Paul tells us that this is God's inspired word. In that verse on the screen, it tells us that it's breathed out. And when you look back at the Greek language in the New Testament, it does mean breathed out, inspired, breathed out by God through men who wrote these words down. Now, if the Bible is from God, then we'll expect it to be true. And we should then be able to look around and actually work out and test it. And we can do this in many different ways. You go right back to the beginning of the Bible. Genesis chapters 1 to 11, what does it tell us about? It counts the historical events concerning the beginning of the world. And through science, we can confirm that actually God's account of creation is true. When you look at it and how it all happened, what happened on the days, and wow, there is so much evidence that what God's word says right back there in Genesis is true. An example, here we go. God tells us in chapter 1 that animals, plants, birds, fish, and every living thing were created after their own kind, which means that dogs, what can they produce when they have babies? Well, they can only have dogs, can't they? And then dogs can only have dogs again, and that dog can only have a dog, can't it? Dogs can only produce dogs. That's what it says in God's word. And when we look around, guess what? Dogs can only produce dogs. There's so many other things that we can look at that help us understand and see that the Bible is true. Geology, people go around looking at all the rocks and the earth and the formation and how it was done, tells us that there was a creator. Astrology, looking up into the stars and the night sky, the moon, the twinkling stars, the telescopes that look further and further and further, guess what it tells us? God put them into space. They look, and there is millions and billions of these stars. Science tells us that what's written in God's word is true. And then, just to look at how many prophecies there were about who? Jesus Christ. Written and spoken hundreds of years before Jesus was even born. Because we can confirm the history in the Bible, can't we? That the Bible is true. And the main reason that we can have is because we know it's from God. Look at this verse in Proverbs 30 verse 5. Every word of God proves true. Those who take refuge in him. There's no other book on earth like the Bible is there. And so, we should use our Bibles as a starting point for all our living, all our learning, and all of our actions. So we know the Bible came from God, written down by holy men. People who God inspired, and he breathed the words through them with the Holy Spirit working in their hearts. There are about 40 different writers over a very long time who wrote the Bible. And these people were like us, many different types of people. There were doctors, there was a farmer, a fisherman, many different people, tax collectors who wrote down God's word. And there's books that like history and poetry and prophecy, these letters, that letter Timothy, many different types of writing. And there's a verse here, and this is part of the book of Psalms, which is a book of poetry. It says, "Forever, O Lord, your word is firmly fixed in the heavens." The amazing thing about the Bible is that even though so many people wrote about it and wrote in it over such a long period of time, it has just one message, and it tells one story, and it points to, guess what? Just one person. And we know that, don't we? Jesus Christ, our Lord and our Saviour. There is no other book like this Bible on earth at all. And if God is calling you, and if God is asking you to become a Christian, it's coming through his word, it's coming through God's people. And you know what? His words will be a joy and a delight for your heart. Isn't it amazing? Just imagine holding God's word in our hands, and we can open it and read it. What a very special book that this is. Inspired by God, given to us by God, tells us of that one true Son of God, Jesus Christ, who died for our sins. An amazing book. The Bible is from God, and we know it's true because of the things that were in it. Well, boys and girls, I hope to see you again very soon.
This week the Discoverers Challenge is, I've got a tissue box full of ping pong balls, and I have a minute on the timer to get them all out, and I've got to do that by jumping. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, off we go. No, it's alright. No, there's a few left. Hang on. There's 2 left. Wait. One left. One. So close. Yes! Done it. That was in 49 seconds. See if you can beat that.
There we go, Leo. Well done. 1 point to the boys and girls. Excellent. Really, really good. Lots of jumping, lots of bouncing. And actually, I'm going to show you something else because just show you how bad Sarah really, really was. Have a look at this. So, are you ready, Faye? Yeah. 3, 2, 1, go! Well done. Oh, a couple more.
Keep going.
Couple more in there still. How many's left? Oh, there's one left. One left in there. Can it come? Oh, it nearly came out. There's still one left.
Quick, ready? Jump! Yeah!
Yay! 3, 2, 1, go!
Done.
So there you go. Even Faye and Isaac beat Sarah's time. So, but we do have 1 point on the board for the boys and girls. Congratulations, well done. So it's Kezia's turn next week to do the challenge, and one of you guys at home to do the challenge on your doorstep. So we're looking forward to that as well. Another question for next week. More songs, more stories, more Dennis time and Dench time as well. So we're looking forward to that. So boys and girls, have a great week, a safe week, and look forward to seeing you very, very soon. So it's Tally Hoes and Toodle Pips.
forgive